Srimad Gita Upanishad as it is. Translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. We'll do first text number 7, right? Okay. 7, 8, 9. Well, we'll chant number 7 and then we'll see what happens. Please repeat. Nityatasya tu sanyasaha karmano notpadpadyate mohad tasya parichagas tamasaha parikirtitaha Nityatasya tu sanyasaha karmano nopapadyate mohatasya paridyasyas tamasa parikirtitya Nityatasya tu sanyasaha karmo no padyate mohatasya pariyagas tamasa parikirtitaha. Okay, go ahead. Okay, fine. Please repeat word for word. Nityatasya, prescribed. Tu, but. Sanyasaha, renunciation. Karmanaha, of activities. Na, never. Upapadyate, is deserved. Mohat, by illusion. Tasya, of them. Paritagyaha, renunciation. Tamasaha, in the mode of ignorance. Parikirtitaha, is declared. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Please repeat. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Purport Srila Prabhupada. Work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Supreme Lord and offering food to the Lord and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness. So I'll read the others. Dukam iti etad yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tajet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyagam phalam labet. Anyone who gives up his prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Prabhu, could you turn off this fan? I think it's the top left. Do you need the fan? It's too cold, is it? Is it uncomfortable?
It's quite close. Slow down a bit.
You could turn that one. I think that's the bottom right. I don't need this one. Yeah, maybe this. Yeah. It's okay? Yeah.
But you don't need that one.
Sorry?
You don't need this, no?
I don't need that one now. I mean, you're okay? Yeah. It's noisy anyway, isn't it? It's like being in an aeroplane. So, anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome, thank you, or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. Purport. Srila Prabhupada. One who is in Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he is performing fruitive activities. If by working one can engage his money in Krishna consciousness, or if by rising early in the morning one can advance his transcendental Krishna consciousness, one should not desist out of fear or because such activities are considered troublesome. Such renunciation is in the mode of passion. The result of passionate work is always miserable. If a person renounces work in that spirit, he never gets the result of renunciation. Yes. So, number 9, I believe, right? 3 verses. One. Karyamiti eva yat karma nityatam kriyate arjuna. Sangha chakva phalam chaiva sa chagaha satviko mataha. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. Purport. Prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. One should act without attachment for the result. He should be disassociated from the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna. And when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally. Yes. So, the Bhagavad-Gita is in 3 sections. Acharyas, Prabhupada has explained. The first 6 chapters discuss karma and how to perform karma, as it says in that last verse, for the satisfaction of Krishna. 3rd chapter is karma yoga, then 4th chapter is transcendental knowledge, and then 5th chapter is nice karma yoga. So, karma, what is karma? Karma means work. So, according to the modes of material nature, it's in chapter 4:13. Chaturvarnyam maya shristam guna karma vibhagasha tasya kartaram apimam vide akartaram avyayam. According to the 3 modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the 4 divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. So according to the modes of material and the work associated with them. So if you look at the Sanskrit, it says guna karma, vibhagasha. Vibhagasha in terms of division. So the material energy, the effect, subtle effect, is in goodness, passion and ignorance. So goodness means harmony. Mode of goodness, somebody's in harmony with his higher self, we can say. Mode of passion is activity, exemplified by desire for material sensuality and material opulence. Person in the mode of goodness is more thoughtful and he's considering the higher goals of life. But mode of ignorance is inactivity, inertia. So you have harmony, activity, inertia. Somebody in inertia may be depressed, sleeps a lot, prone to intoxication, gross foods, factory food, full of chemicals, make drugs. So he's in illusory. So Bhagavatam explains, Atmavan manyate jagat. Atma, as a person is, Van, as he possesses, he sees the world. So we become conditioned by these modes. Our consciousness becomes affected according to our karmic reactions, karma bandhana. Lokoyam karma bandhana. So if you take intoxication, you eat meat, you watch television all night, and then you'll find the reaction in your body is that you become truculent, lazy, prone procrastination, maybe even violent, so on. But then if you're in the mode of passion, you're taking passionate food, you're chasing women, wine, women and song, you want to enjoy. So mode of goodness person, so that person also, he tends to go down to the mode of ignorance. Just like the night before, people are dancing and flirting with women and so on and so forth, but then the next morning they're, oh my God, I'll never drink again. So mode of passion without connection to transcendental objective tends to put one into the mode of ignorance. But the mode of goodness person, he wants to live in harmony with nature. He thinks, there's something spiritual about life. I love you and you love me, we are all one. Nature is beautiful. Let me meditate on the Brahman. Why should I? I should live healthy, go swimming. I should read the books of the old yogis and so on and so forth. So there's a chance for him, because it's like being in the airport, Prabhupada says. From that position, he may understand Krishna consciousness and then go to Turiya, which means transcendental consciousness. So people are conditioned by these modes. They're called gunas. Guna also means ropes, because it binds the conditioned soul. But also they may not be just conditioned by one, they may be mixed. They may, have moments of going on holiday and being peaceful. Then they go back to work and I hate my job and my boss is this and that. And so they have a balance of all these things and they're bound up. So this continues their cycle of birth and death. If they end up in mode of ignorance, then they'll go to animal species. Or they may even go, if they're very demoniac, they may go into lower planetary systems where demonism is there. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Pala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Tala, Tala, and then Patala, the lower planetary systems. But if they stay in the mode of passion, then they can stay on the Bhumandala system. Just like this world we see, people are very passionate. They get up in the morning, they go to work, they come back and they walk again the next. They're running here and there, like a monkey. They're doing all sorts of activities, but it's all pretty useless, ultimately, from a spiritual point of view. So the person in the mode of goodness, then he can go to the upper planetary systems, Swagaloka, and if he cultivates spiritual knowledge and renunciation to some degree, he can go above Swagaloka. You see, Bhumandala, then you have Bhuloka. That's the plane of disembodied spirits, ghostly beings, you might say. But they're not all ghosts, they're not all bhutas. But there's many described, pretas, pichashas, yakshas, so on and so forth. And then Swargalok is material heaven. That's above Bhuloka. But if you cultivate in the mode of goodness some meditation on Brahman, and you're kind and generous, and you study, perhaps without great spiritual understanding, but you may go to Mahalok, and then above that is Janalok and Tapalok, and then Satyalok. So that means the mode of goodness. So just like below Bhumandala, passion fades into ignorance. So above Bhumandala, passion fades into goodness. And then above Swagalok, it's explained just for our understanding that like Mahalok, which is above Satyalok, that is like 25% Vaikuntha atmosphere, 75% you could say mode of goodness. Above that is Janalok, 50-50 transcendental atmosphere and mode of goodness. Then Tapalok, those that have performed austerities, renunciation, control their senses, perform meditation, that's like 75%, we can say, Vaikuntha, 25% mode of goodness. And then above that is Satyalok, residence of Lord Brahma. That is like 95% Satyalok, truth. And maybe 5% mode of goodness. So they're the great big rishis. They sit in the company of Lord Brahma and they discuss universal affairs and so on and so forth. And they are discussing very fine philosophical points. But as you go up, you enter into more subtle bodies. You get other like Siddhaloka. People are born with Asta Siddhi, the mystic perfections naturally. When you go down, you go into the Rakshasa and Asuric regions. Right at the bottom, Patala. And then below Patala there is Narak, of course. Hellish regions where people enter into punishment. So that's in the subtle body. So Bhumandala is like the center. Krishna comes here, Lord Chaitanya comes here to purify the universe. We're in the most gross area, Bhumandala plane of the universe. Become more subtle as you go up and more subtle as you go down. Because when you go to hell, you don't have a gross body, but you suffer in your subtle body, which is what you do anyway. So you have a tooth, bad tooth. So you don't feel it you feel it in your mind, right? So people go to Narak and they have a mind and they're suffering greatly in different ways, but all in accordance with their karma. So this is all karma bandha. So on the earth plane, this Krishna has constructed, and this goes throughout the universe, Chaturvarna Maya Sristam, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. According to the guna, you have what's Prabhupada has translated as prescribed duties. They're prescribed according to the gunas. According to the gunas, you're conditioned, and you're conditioned in that way according to your previous activities. So those gunas, you're born with a certain tendency because of your past karmas. And therefore, according to that, you will be attracted and you will be prescribed certain duties. So the person in the mode of goodness, he is interested in spiritual matters and harmony, understanding and knowledge. So his prescribed duty, we're putting it very simply because, like I say, it mixes up. Just like, anyway, we won't talk about that, but prescribed duties, he's interested in shastric knowledge, the words of the sages, considering things. He's thoughtful, harmonious, gentlemanly conduct. So that is the Brahminical type, right? They're interested in Brahman, that which is supreme. Brahma means that which is supreme. But the mode of passion person, he wants to enjoy. So he is the Kshatriya, if he's in a pious condition. His duty, I want to control and enjoy. But if he's pious, I want to control and enjoy for Krishna. But if he's impious, he just, especially now Kali Yuga, he wants to enjoy. So that's at the beginning of 7th canto, we're studying Bhagavatam. So that person is called the Asura. The A means not, Su, very, Ra, pleasure, not very much pleasure. They enjoy wine, women and song and so on and so forth and like that. And they're very active, busy. Businessman means busy, up in the morning, going to work, this job, that, trying to hide the money from the taxman and so on and so forth. Very busy. So mode of passion. And he does get a certain pleasure when the material senses contact the objects. But it's very ephemeral, temporary and fleeting. And it doesn't satisfy the soul. Right? So, then the mode of ignorance person, he is interested in intoxication, he becomes cynical, he has a bad view, atmavan manyate, oh, and everyone is terrible. He may become a psychopath, right? I once studied up about psychopaths. They start as liars. So this is illusion. Instead of wanting to find the truth of reality, he wants to make his own reality. And very cruel. Some children, they want to pull the legs off spiders and things like that and see what happens. Right? So then they develop, if they're not given treatment or something, they may end up being, killing people for pleasure, and this is so the mode of ignorance. And then they go down to hell and Rakshasa life, and so on and so forth. But the mode of ignorance, it means Rakshasa. So the people in the mode of ignorance, they want to be the controller. You see, the person in the mode of passion, he wants to enjoy sensuality. But the person in the mode of ignorance wants to enjoy by dominating. Like you get these, especially 20th century we've seen, or even all these big dictator types, Stalin and so on. They want to be, send them off to the gulag, kill these and this and that. I'm the big man, you're my enemy. So he's also enjoying in that way, in his own perverted way. And so the sensualist is enjoying in his passionate way. So he's an asura. And the Rakshasa, he's enjoying by being vicious and angry and getting people under the thumb and so on. And the person in the mode of goodness is enjoying happiness and harmony and affection and so on. But they're all enjoying. You understand? They're all mode. Their mentality is to enjoy. One is enjoying in mode of goodness, and he actually feels some pleasure in a sense. He feels peaceful. Krishna explains that earlier, right? That for those that peace is the starting point of happiness, right? Without peace, how can there be happiness, Arjuna? So the person in the mode of passion, he's enjoying in this way, but they're all trying to enjoy in their own way. So in those three chapters, third chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter, in the first 6 section of the Gita, Naiskamya means you perform your prescribed duties according to your previous karmas, your gunas, but because of transcendental knowledge, chapter 4, you're doing it for Krishna. Just like Prabhupada mentioned in the purport there. The person in the mode of goodness, he's doing his prescribed duties, but without attachment to the result. I have a family, I must work, I must do this service, I must look after them, and I will do this in a state of morality and truthfulness. I'll not become greedy. I'll rely on the Supreme Lord, and my work I'll do for Krishna. So that is also in the Brahma Samhita at the end. Dharma manyat parijaja mamekam bhajva vishvasan yadrasi shraddha siddhir bhavati tadrisi kurvan nirantaram karma lokoyam karma bandhana anuvartate tena taktvar deham mamparam bhaktimicchati. That you'll obtain supreme, he says that Lord Brahma is told by Krishna, people work ceaselessly in the objective of their work, but by meditating on Krishna, by those deeds, by performing your duties, your tendencies for his satisfaction, then you will become situated in transcendence. So it's necessary to have transcendental knowledge. Because in the 4th chapter there's that verse, Tadvidi pratipatena paripash. So from Guru you get knowledge that just enjoying in mode of goodness or mode of passion or mode of ignorance, performing your duties for your own satisfaction, this is going to keep you in the material samskara. You're going to continue. So if you hear from Guru, Tadividi pratipatena, Tatvadashi, somebody who has seen the absolute truth, then he can awaken Sevabhav, an attitude of service to the Supreme Lord. Now you still got, as Prabhupada says in the purport to the mode of goodness, you still got your work to do, because you may be, usually people are getting married, they have a family, they have responsibilities in society, but you're doing it as a service to Krishna. You're doing it in that. You're offering your work to Krishna. Of course, you're still taking your salary and you're still spending, but you're taking your family to Vrindavan at the weekend, and you're watching your kids dance in front of the deity, and you're feeling, my children are getting attached to Krishna, I'm a good man, so on and so forth. So that's performing mode of goodness activities, and you will get reciprocation from Krishna. Krishna within the heart will give you realization, and you will realize Krishna in that way, right? But in the mode of passion, person thinks, he's not properly understood spiritual knowledge, so he thinks that spiritual life means to give up my duties. The family is troublesome. It's troublesome to have 2 or 3 kids, and the wife, she wants bangles every summer or something. I'm fed up of it. I think I'll just give up the lot and go to Vrindavan. He's not driven by, like Lord Chaitanya exemplified, he had to leave his family life because of bhava, right? And prem. Let me go to Puri and let me preach in the south. He's not, but he's doing it because material activities are troublesome. It's giving me a headache. So then I'll put on the sannyasi dress and I'll get free prasadam in the ashrams and put on tilak, and everyone will think I'm fine. But so he's acting at a level for which he's not suited. He's not being responsible. He's giving up his wife and children. Instead of bringing them to Krishna consciousness in Sevabhav and being happy and getting Krishna's blessing, he's casting them aside. So that is not correct, because it's a negative reason, you see. It's not because, Krishna, I can't stay in this. See, I have to run to Vrindavan and meditate upon you because I'm unable to deal with this because of bhava, right? But then the mode of ignorance fellow says, because of illusion. He thinks he may give up his duties. This is also pointing towards the Mayavadi renunciation. This world, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. The only truth is the Brahman, the big energy in the sky. And wife, family, nation, responsibility, this is illusion. Mithya. So therefore I'm giving it all up, and I'm going to meditate and become God. So, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada, our Prabhupada's guru, well, they both are Prabhupada, he called this Makata Vairag, monkey renunciation. You know, he's not renouncing because of awakening prem or nishta or ruchi, because he wants to become God or something. He's in complete illusion. He has no real spiritual understanding. He's Mayavadi. This is all illusion. And so then he's giving up everything. And then, because he doesn't get any real satisfaction, and then he becomes like a monkey. He's not wearing any clothes. He's living in Vrindavan, but he's keeping a harem. And so, what do they call them? Sevadasis or something like that, right? Yeah, so then they put on saffron cloth and they live with a half a dozen Sevadasis. So that's a monkey renunciation. So he becomes an offender. Tamagun, it's a bad situation. So this is what's being explained in seed form in these verses in the purports. So what is real renunciation? Real renunciation is not to give up your duties, but initially, like Krishna told Arjuna, you're a Kshatriya, and I want this battle. You're in the mode of ignorance, Arjuna. You think, oh, it's troublesome, right? And it's all illusion. Why should I kill all my family members? Krishna is saying, look, you're speaking learned words, but you're just a fool number one, right? You're thinking you want to sit under a tree, but then he explains, Krishna says, you're forced to act anyway by the modes of nature, by the nature anyway, so you won't be able to be a renunciate, and you're not ready for that, Arjuna. You should do your duties, because it's my plan to get rid of this Duryodhana, expansion of Kali Yuga, who's exploiting the people like a tyrant, and put Yudhisthira, who treats the people as his own children and gives them shelter. This is my plan, Arjuna. So perform your duties for my satisfaction. And so that's what comes at the end of the 18th chapter, right? Aham sarvadharma prajaja. Give up all your dharmas, your duties, and just surrender to me. That's the ultimate understanding, Arjuna. And don't worry about giving up your material activities. Because that is Arjuna's worry. At the beginning, he says, if I kill all these big Mahajans, all these great leaders of society, then the women will be unprotected. And then there'll be Varnashankara, and I will be responsible for this. So Krishna says, no, don't worry. I'll make all adjustment, Arjuna. You follow the ultimate principle of renunciation is to act for the Supreme, not to just stop activity like the Mayavadi. In different ways, where there's passion and ignorance, a mixture of this, or you want to merge in the Brahman. No, act for the Supreme Personality. So, that is the message of the Bhagavad-Gita. And that is the real way to reorientate society. If you just do it in the modes, then there's always going to be a flex. But the only real solution is to unite the material energy, like Lakshmi, we were talking in the Bhagavatam class, Lakshmi should be kept with Narayan. So that is the perfection of human society. Sita belongs to Ram. But Ravana wants to enjoy Sita, wants to enjoy Lakshmi, money, wealth, power, opulence, beauty, intelligence, status, separate from Ram. That's the demoniac impetus, right? And that's preached nowadays. There's no God. It's all come from a big bang in the sky, and all this nonsense, and it's all chemicals. There's no soul. You're just a chemical reaction. So everyone is bewildered by all these people in white lab coats standing in front of nonsense Einstein books And they think, oh, he knows what he's talking about. There's no God, so we may as well just enjoy. And then they perform all illicit activities. So that's also ignorance. So it's being preached now. But the real thing is that all the facilities of the material world, ourselves included, we should act for the Narayan, for Krishna. That is the message there. And so, karma is discussed in those first chapters, 6 chapters, of course, with this idea, nice karma yoga, chapter 5. Then it gets on to Ashtanga yoga. And then at the end, Krishna sums up his whole discussion with yoginam api sarvesham margaten taratmanaha shradavam bhajate yo mam shradavam sa me